to talk about agentic commerce. I think that is something that we've been hearing a lot of words about, and we've been seeing it. And then, if you're subscribed to anything at this point for tech, we're hearing about agentic. All right, so let's talk about what we're hearing about AI in general, and then we're going to go into what agentic really means, right? So Adobe released a lot of reports in the past 3 months about how AI has been powering a lot of our retail sites and our retailers in general. And we've seen, based on the stat, 4,700% growth year over year when it comes to AI-driven experiences.
Yeah, and these are, it's valuable traffic. I mean, this is traffic that is actually converting higher than, you know, typical search engine driven optimization. You know, as I stated earlier in the morning, this traffic also, you know, bounces less and stays on the websites longer, right? So it is actually purpose-driven traffic, people actually looking for situations. And I mean, this number just continues to baffle me. Like I knew that number would be huge, but 4,700% is big. So, you know, the adoption of, you know, the AI technologies and the LLMs that are associated with it and the different surfaces that people are now trusting with their browsing and buying capabilities, like, I mean, I think it's real.
Okay, so we know what AI is for the most part, but let's kind of go through the journey of like how we're moving from what AI used to be to what AI is going to be.
And I'd like to say this was a 10-year journey, but this is what, like an 18-month journey?
Yes,
maybe at that. Maybe
exactly.
At that.
So let's start with predictive AI, right? We know what our customers are. We understand this, so maybe we'll start marketing to them in the sense of like, hey, you shop here, great.
Think data insights, right? Like that was basically what predictive AI was. It was like, you know, elaborate data insights, making sure we understood our customers better.
Yeah. And then we go into Gen AI, or generative AI, where now, okay, we take the content and we take the data and put it together, so that way we're able to not just understand our customers, we are now able to promote the right things to certain types of customer profiles. So we're now expanding. And then the next step is Agentic AI, where, okay, we're going even beyond. I don't know, who uses ChatGPT or Copilot or anything at this point? I will say, a lot of slides were made through ChatGPT or Copilot in some way or form, right? So it's really about not just, okay, we're moving from understanding our customers, we understand our content and how the data and content should be playing together, but now we're understanding the fact that, hey, we have potential goals. We have the ability to utilize agents to create different opportunities across our customer profiles.
And I would just add to that, right? So the Adobe journey has been, like I said, over the past 18 months, we started out looking at data, right? And data is paramount, and that's where the predictive AI sort of trend started. And then we got into the Gen AI stuff, which, you know, fits very well with some of the other Adobe products. We, you know, we merged assets. We took product descriptions that were being automatically generated through our Firefly technology. So we actually brought all of that stuff in together into commerce, and everyone thought that was pretty exciting. And then now we're embarking on this sort of agentic AI path, which, as we'll show you in sort of the next couple of slides, really brings everything together in sort of a very seamless way. So, you know, it's like less and less human intervention needed.
Yep. All right. So these are some really cool stats we're going to put on here, but really it's about understanding where our consumers are at, right? So our consumers are already utilizing AI in some way or form. So we need to be ready and willing to be where our customers are at. And so we did a study with 5,000 different customers that are utilizing some type of Adobe tool, and 92% of the shoppers are utilizing AI in some way or form. And then we have 39% of consumers that are already using AI, right? So should we not be there already, right? Like, why are we not utilizing AI?
Yeah, and basically, I mean, these stats, again, mind-boggling, and it basically shows that the consumer trend is shifting, and I think we all have to realize that, and we all have to react to it, and that's where, at least from an Adobe perspective, we're spending a lot of time now trying to anticipate, where shopping behavior is going to go, and how do we help our customers get sort of in front of it and learn to power it with ease.
All right, so let's talk about this, right? So let's say we're all in. We're going to use AI. As a shopper or a buyer, or however you want to frame your customer, they're going to express some type of intent to shop. Now we have AI tools, so whether they're using like ChatGPT, Copilot, or whomever, they're going to use agents to create, they want to buy something. And they want the agents to do that on their behalf.
And the just to add on to that, the standard now is natural language, right? And it's less about specific prompts or codes or that type of stuff. And it's really, can I have a dialogue, and can that agent or that interpreter on the other side sort of understand what I'm looking for and why?
And I will say this, so I am an avid user of ChatGPT, and I will say this, my agent name is Cassandra, and Cassandra and I get along very well, and she helps me. So if she's able to understand my preferences in any way or form, I would hope that she understands, like, this is the type of shirt I want to buy. But at the end of the day, if I never have to actually go to a website and AI can do that for me, why not? I mean, my credit card might hate me, but it does make it a lot easier, and I think our shoppers are becoming more, they're smarter because they want to use these tools. So we now need to have the tools to be able to do that for them.
And the interesting part is, as much as we define this journey and you look at it and you're like, wow, this is, pretty slick. If you look one step behind and you look at the data that powers each one of these steps, I mean, it already exists, that data already exists. Now we're taking it, we're surfacing it, and we're processing it in different ways. So like, for example, the interpretation of the information, like that is, understanding buyer behavior, which we've had data on before. The personalized choices, again, is using catalog and variations and trying to figure out, based on possible previous purchases, other shopping intents that shopper has done, and then creating those choices. And then lastly, on the purchase, probably the most advanced that it's already been. I mean, we're already used to digital wallets. We're already used to sort of single-click purchasing. And so really this chain takes almost the best of breed in each of these steps, and now we're trying to put it all together in a way that's barrier-free from a shopping perspective, shopper perspective.
Again, dangerous for credit cards. Got to put that out there. So let's talk about what Adobe has been doing recently, right? So we recently were part of Google's announcement, and so I just want to call out, we are here. We want to continue growing into the agentic AI space. And then I know, Ritesh, you're going to speak to the Lonnie spot.
Yeah, I mean, this was, so Google has an open protocol that we are participating with right now. It's the AP2 protocol. And in that protocol that they've defined sort of how that checkout works, there is a discovery, they have 4 roles, right? So there's the discovery role, which could be like a Google Surface, for example, a Google Shopping Surface. It could be an LLM. It could be anything like that. There is, by default, a payment provider somewhere in the mix, because that checkout has to happen. There has to be an e-commerce platform because fundamentally this whole transaction has to get fulfilled and transacted, right? And then last but not least, in order to make all of this real and to avoid sort of, damage to your credit card with bots just purchasing on behalf of people, there's a credentialing role, right? So an agent or a role player there that basically makes sure that the intent to purchase was started by a human and then a human is validating it in some way, shape, or form across the way. So Google has taken this and sort of created an open platform with these 4 roles, and they're inviting a bunch of companies, of which Adobe was one, to participate, and looking at all the different role players to come together on sort of this open protocol. And so there's probably more to come on that. The one thing I think that Nitu touched upon is, again, really early in this journey, so I would encourage, at least from Adobe's perspective, we're going to participate in all of the areas that make sense. Remember, Adobe Commerce, Magento Open Source, the whole premise is around flexibility and choice and option. And so we felt like the Google protocol was one that represented some of the ways that we've been thinking about it. But who knows? Next week there could be something else that makes a lot of sense. And so we're trying to build in a way where we've got some of these agents that are ready to participate in the ecosystem. And I would encourage everyone here also to sort of think about your own situation and see how you might fit into sort of this agentic space, the agentic commerce space and the checkout, because the trend is going in that direction. We all need to figure out which role we want to play, assuming that those are the 4 types of roles that are there. And from the Adobe side, we continue to be proud to represent the commerce role in that particular example.
So I want to say this. I don't think AI is scary. I truly do think we have to work together when it comes to human plus AI. I think at the end of the day, AI doesn't work without humans. It's that's what it is. It should never replace us. So when I said human-led, it's human-led. And then AI is really doing the work and helping us work to make sure our customers are not just satisfied, but they're getting what they need and what they want. And we're meeting their needs through commerce, through payments, through anything that really affects what they are shopping for. And so
I was just going to say, if we put together the ideal solution, the best solution, can you imagine a world where conversion is higher, obviously revenue is higher, returns are lower because shoppers are getting the thing that they may or may not even have known this is exactly what I was looking for. There's a lot of times when I'm in the old world, I guess I should say, doing Google searches and not prompting properly, and so I may end up with a subpar result, right? And so if we continue to harness some of that AI technology and move it together in the right place, merchants are actually going to see all these benefits, and in the long run, that's great for all of us because it makes our solutions more valuable and a higher ROI than what we've been traditionally been able to provide.
Yep, and I will say this, commerce with intention resonates with me personally because I think at the end of the day, people are not just shopping for the sake of shopping. People are shopping for reasons where it's because they need to do so, and we need to be there with that intention. It's not something, we know the macroeconomic climate, right? So we understand that with intention, we are now helping our customers be able to process faster. At the end of the day, that's it, guys.
Thank you.